Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. Okay, so Paris and Thomas and the fam are celebrating their engagement. They're super happy. Almost every person in that room, is excited for them, is happy for them, except for Hope effing Logan. And also Donna a little bit too, and Brooke, but whatever. So Brooke keeps looking at Hope because Hope is just having that sad face on the entire time, just full of just negative energy. I'm just like, can you go somewhere? And I feel like you're not a positive force in this room right now. You need to go somewhere. So she walks out. At some point, Donna's like, I feel for Hope and everything, and I get that. That's her family, right? But Reg and Eric are both just like, my son is happy and Hope had her chance. Hell, there's one point where Brooke is talking to Hope and is, sitting up there saying, you know, you asked him out, he asked you twice and you turned him down twice. And when she said that, I was like, now she does sit there and ask, well, if Thomas asks you again, will you sit there and say yes? Because this whole, and of course the whole time, Hope is all like, oh, I can't believe he blindsided me, and this, that, and the third, and he's rushing our relationship. And what did she say? Oh, he didn't even give our relationship time to mourn and everything. Mourn like a death. Mourn like a death. Are you? I mean, she's acting like her usual, self-centered, entitled ass, and at some point, she does clean herself up. She goes back to the party. Reg is there. Reg is not there talking. And, I think Reg is not there like, well, she had her chance. And she said no. And even Hope was like, listen, I understand. You have to sit there and move on. So it's like everyone else is not there getting it. Even Hope, even Brooke is getting it, except for Hope. Now, Carter, he asked if he wants to. He asked them if he wants them to. If he asked them if he could sit there and officiate them. And I'm like, well, we don't know right now, but we'll let you know. Um, I don't see why not. Personally, he Carter has known both of them for a very long time. I think if anyone was to sit there and officiate them, it would be Carter. Now I get maybe a little bit of hesitation with with it because Carter and Paris has history. But, you know, he seemed like he's in a better place. She's in a better place. I don't, part of me is like, I don't understand this from Paris' side. And I might have said this yesterday, but I'm like, I felt like she rushed into a marriage with Carter, and it blew up in her face, and she got hurt. And now you're doing the exact same thing. You are doing the exact same thing with Thomas that you did with Carter. Carter, on some level, you knew the history between Carter and Quinn, and you still pursued him, and you still was going to sit there and marry him, and it turned out horrible. And now you're doing this with Hope. Now you're doing this with Thomas, and you know Thomas's history with Hope, and you haven't been together that long, and yet you're ready to go down the aisle again and just hoping that Thomas doesn't sit there and change his mind. And because even Donna was not to say no to that Thomas still loves Hope. Thomas still loves Hope, and I know on some level even Rich knows it, and even Brooke knows it. So what is Paris just not there saying la da 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 da, like just blocking it out and just going through with it anyway? It's like I don't really understand why would you sit there and set yourself up for that level of heartbreak again. Now, Hope goes back to talk to Thomas, and she begs him to reconsider. Begs him to reconsider his marriage with her, saying that she's rushing and this, that, and the third. And Thomas just keeps. The problem is Thomas just keeps saying the same thing, and she's not getting it. Thomas is like, "You hurt me twice. You did this twice." And of course, Hope. At some point, Hope is like, "But I wasn't ready." Okay, but he was though, and he shouldn't have to sit there and put his life on hold for you. You're not that special, Hope. You're really not. And I think at some point throughout the conversation with maybe with Brooke or Thomas, she brings up she plays the mommy card. Oh, we have a son together, and I'm just like, yeah, and that you're always gonna have a son together. That has nothing to do with you two. But she begs and she pleads, and this level of desperation and just like it's such an unattractive quality. It really is. But for some odd reason, and I don't know why, Thomas, against all common sense and logic, asked this chick again, "Will you be my wife? I'm going to ask you for the third time." And she hesitates. And I'm just like, she's going to say no. She's going to sit there and say no. And we're all going to sit there and look at this chick like, oh, oh. Also, in the previews, she snuck there, "I am Finn again." I'm like, Hope, what the hell are you doing? You're desperately trying to get back with Thomas, even though you don't want to give him what he wants, and then you're sitting there. I'm trying to keep this not vulgar as possible, but now you're sitting there once again, going right back to looking at Finn, having dirty thoughts about Finn, and practically wanting to wreck Finn's marriage. Like, you're just on a goddamn destruction path, aren't you? You want to sit there and ruin Paris's happiness and Thomas' happiness, and then when you don't get what you want, then you want to sit there and go back to ruining Finn's marriage and breaking up a happy home. Like, oh, you just need to sit your ass down somewhere. You doing way, 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 way too goddamn much. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have. I can't think of anything else, but as I always sit there and say, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows. General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, Young and Restless. If you can, share the video. Obviously, I always sit there and say like the video, but share the videos. I know it's an extra mile sort of thing, but you have no idea how much that actually helps grow the channel. Things like either becoming a member definitely also helps the channel out because I do a lot of these live streams for members only. We have a really good show vibe and just really great conversations. So you want to be a part of that, but if you can share the video, that also does help grow the channel. With that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.